Now on Queer News Tonight, Governor Ron DeSantis' failed presidential bid may be the worst performance in history, and sparking controversy for lavish spending and culture war tactics across America.
President Joe Biden addresses donors in Pinecrest and advocates for Democratic success in Florida amid skepticism. But can he win here?
The 5th annual South Florida LGBTQ Philanthropy Awards, hosted by Our Fund Foundation and Bank of America, celebrated outstanding LGBTQ+ contributions.
The 66th annual Grammy Awards may have been the best in history, and they celebrated LGBTQ+ artists with memorable wins and performances honoring diversity and talent.
Catholic conservatives, including 90 clergymen, openly oppose Pope Francis's document allowing priests to bless same-sex union.
Hello and welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ+ daily evening television news, broadcasting live and available on demand on all smart televisions, including Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. It's time to queer up the news. It is Monday, February 5th, 2024. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we are going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight.
I'm Out South Florida senior reporter John Hayden, and this evening we bring you the news of and perspective representing the LGBTQ+ community from South Florida, America, and across our planet.
This is the world's first and only unedited live LGBTQ+ evening news show. Whatever happens unique in LGBTQ+ news, you will see it and hear it.
Hotspots Magazine Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ+ community. Our mission? To support the 10 pillars of our LGBTQ+ community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of our Black community, Latino, lesbians and queer women, trans, students, youth, seniors, HIV/AIDS healthcare, business, social justice, and faith. Help us support our community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ+ media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network.
In 2024, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ+ experience, and our television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ+ and broader community.
All right, well, we get the week started by meeting tonight's panel. Up first, Jamaal Starks. His South Florida professional name, Porcelain. He is Vice President of Impulse Group, Chapter Miami, part of a global organization helping connect gay men and queer men. He is also a spiritualist and model. Welcome back to the show, Jamaal.
Thank you, John. I ain't got much to say today.
Wait till we get into the topics. We got a lot coming up. Up next, let's welcome anchor Gregg Shapiro?
Gigi will do.
Gigi's 9th book, Refrain in Light, was selected for the Poetry Mutual 10 Best Poetry Books of 2023. His entertainment coverage, including celebrity interviews, runs in a variety of print and online publications, including Out South Florida. Welcome back to the show, Gregory.
I'm so glad to be here. And I got to tell you guys, I saw the most amazing concert this weekend. I saw the legendary Lucinda Williams. And, you know, she had a stroke. And so she's still up there performing. And if you get a chance to see her live, go see her.
Great. What's today?
Glad you had a great weekend. Up next, Mr. Eric Restivo, a well-known person for his West Hollywood podcast, Listen, Honey, Listen Up.
Call me Gigi.
That's fine.
For his West Hollywood podcast, Listen, Sweetie. He is an entertainment headliner in clubs across the country, including West Hollywood and Wilton Manors. He is the new television host of The W Boys, focusing on LGBTQ plus love for entertainment, premiering March 15th. That sounds so exciting. Now, are you doing this show all by yourself, as the copy would imply that you are?
I am. Yes, there is no one else with me in the there
Up
needs
next,
to
let's
be-
welcome Hunter O'Haney. He
There
is a
needs to be
community consultant.
a second boy for W Boys. And with that,
Oh.
John Hayden, will you be my other W boy?
Oh, I see.
Yes, March 15th, honey. We'll be covering everything. We said it before, nothing is off the table, right?
Exactly.
So that's what is going to set us apart from everything else here. But we're super excited to be working with Hotspots Magazine. Happy to be at Happening Out. And we're getting excited for the premiere.
Yeah, and I've stolen Al's bell.
There you go.
We don't have a full show skeleton set up yet to know how it's going to look, but I can tell you.
Oh, we got our logos today.
We did get our logos. Our logos are so good.
Really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah,
After
yeah.
we went back and forth.
Our graphics design team's doing a fantastic job, but I can tell you the bell is coming back. Probably when we have, and only I'm allowed to use it.
Doesn't work with me. Yeah.
Up next, Mr. Hunter O'Haney. He is a community consultant with more than 30 years of experience, the former executive director of Stonewall National Museum, and served as CEO of the College Art Association, the world's largest professional society, supporting visual artists, art historians, and curators. He also served as museum director of the prestigious Leslie Loam Museum of Gay and Lesbian Art in New York. He is an expert in gay history, culture, and politics. Welcome back, Hunter. I've been meaning to ask you since the last time I read your intro, what are you not an expert at? Because I feel like that would just narrow it down a lot faster.
It certainly is, and thankfully I didn't write that, so
But
because I would never say that.
but
yeah.
but that is you though, right? I'm not reading Eric's biography by
No,
accident.
you're reading
Definitely
mine.
not
Okay.
Reading
my
mine.
biography,
Well, so this week I have been working on this new book I told you about an artist in Baltimore by the name of Amos Badicher. Phaidon is going to be publishing it, and so this last week we sent out the loan request to the One Archive in Los Angeles, to the University of Maryland, and to the Leslie Loman Museum. All 250 images have been selected, and we will actually put this thing to bed in the first week of April, and it will be out this fall. And so it's very exciting. It documents street life in the city of Baltimore from 1968 up until 2000. And particularly, he photographed many of the street hustlers and the street workers and the cultural life. And so it's his stories and his images. And so I'm really happy to be working on this project.
That sounds amazing. I can't wait to see some early excerpts.
Sure. I'll be happy.
Bring them in.
to
We'll talk
share.
about it.
Sure.
We'll show them here first.
Sure.
Sounds
Great.
awesome.
Happy to.
We are the reporters for Queer News Tonight, and we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ plus community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community around the world is vast. And here are the bullet points of the queer news for today, Monday, February 5th, 2024. And we begin by queering up South Florida and Florida. DeSantis' presidential campaign, most disastrous in history, spending $7,000 for every vote he got. Each person who cast a vote for him, he spent $7,000 to secure that vote. Governor Ron DeSantis embarked on his presidential campaign and left a significant financial footprint. His campaign, coupled with the affiliated super PAC Never Back Down, collectively spent a staggering $160 million. This sum raises eyebrows, considering the candidate failed to secure a victory in any single county in Iowa. For comparison, Trump took 98 of the 99, Nikki Haley took the 99th. And according to federal FCC election law reports this last week, the Never Back Down PAC raised nearly $180 million last year. They helped DeSantis export his anti-LGBTQ plus culture war from Florida to America and spending more money per vote than any major presidential candidate in history. And it all leads to nothing, except, of course, humiliation. He spent more than $7,000 per vote and visited every single county in Iowa. That's punishment. Former Republican Congressman David Jolly, co-founder of the Forward Party, remarked, quote, "I think this remains one of the most epic collapses of a presidential campaign in modern political history, and that's not hyperbole," end quote. Despite federal rules preventing coordination between a candidate and a PAC, Never Back Down effectively became DeSantis's campaign arm, organizing events in key states where they were able to feature the special guest course, that is Ron DeSantis. The PAC raised over $145 million and spent more than $130 million. Despite their efforts, the campaign faced challenges, prompting discussions about the acceptance of Americans when it comes to conservatives like Ron DeSantis. I mean, yes, we are all dancing on this political grave, but I would say that the grave is that of this particular campaign, not necessarily DeSantis. I pointed out before, Richard Nixon lost his first round when he went out. Ronald Reagan lost his first time out trying to be president. So I don't think DeSantis is dead, and I think it would be premature to say that he is politically dead. He's still got 2 to 3 effective years left, or years left to be effective in the Florida governor's mansion. He's still in his mid-40s. So there is time for him to make a political...
Is he really?
Yeah.
He's what?
He looks
How old?
In his mid-40s. That's
I
not
thought
old,
he
baby.
was-
That's not old. That's not old. You'll be that someday.
I'll be that in a couple of years.
yeah.
Hello. Don't
You're
play.
great. Yeah.
Don't play.
Yeah.
Don't play. That's why we're in the mid-40s.
Mid-40s. Yeah, well, I mean, he served
Baby,
in
look at
Congress. He was in the military. So it's a rough 40.
Girl.
It's a rough,
boo-hoo.
it's a
Girl,
rough
bye.
40.
It's a rough
Everything.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say,
With
I'm from-
$160 million at his whims.
Exposure, yeah.
Like, girl, get some Botox.
$7,000.
well, I'm from
Girl,
Illinois,
Get moisturizer.
and we sent four governors to prison: Blagojevich, Ryan, Walker, and Kerner. And let me tell you, maybe somewhere along the line, Governor Death Sentence broke the law, and maybe he'll be locked up, and he can share a cell with the giant orange adult diaper baby.
I love it, Greg.
I mean, seriously, let's hope.
That just rolled right off.
It's a
That
criminal,
sentence
yes.
was perfect.
I
We
mean,
can
I
have
agree
this
with you,
celebratory
John.
form.
I think that he should not be taken out of consideration. I think he's a young man, and he's got a big record behind him. He's got good education behind him, and also I've said this before. I think there's a possibility, God forbid, if Trump wins, that Trump would actually give him an appointment in a new Trump administration, simply for him to be able to have a higher profile job. Imagine if they made him Secretary of Education. Imagine if they made him Attorney General.
I'm not imagining any of those things.
Can you imagine
I actually
if they
managed this. I imagined his demise, and this is what happened. So I'm going to continue to imagine his demise, because that's how this plays out. It happens in our imaginations, and then it comes and manifests to us physically. So if we continue to celebrate and dance on his demise, then he will continue to demise.
I like it.
I only hope that you're right, but I worry about these are skillful individuals.
And so am I. And so are we. We are not powerless. I want people to understand that we are not powerless. We are not powerless people. We're not powerless individuals when it comes down to thinking, imagining, or energizing a base. Like, we can do things outside of what may seem is not normal. And this is one of those things. Like, let's take this as a win and keep it moving forward with more optimism that we can get this. I can't say the word, but get this person up out of here. And if this is the worst performance in history, well, let's make it the first and the last time he ever tried this.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. I said it last week. Unfortunately, Florida loves Ron DeSantis. We don't at this table, obviously, but a vast majority of this state, especially northern Florida, worship him. I remember I moved here a year and a half ago, and some of the things that I was told that Ron DeSantis did greatly for Florida, and I still haven't been able to agree with any of those things that I've heard from that first day moving here. But I think it's scary. I think, Jamaal, to your point, I think that there's power in numbers. I think that if you are a straight ally, if you're a whatever ally watching this right now, share this feed. I think there's power in us getting more information out. That's why this platform is here. DeSantis' death sentence is not going anywhere overnight, but with more awareness coming from different groups, not just the LGBTQ community, but the straight community, the Black community, the brown community, the purple people eater, I don't care. But anyone spreading this awareness is better than just us. So please help and let's get them out of here.
Absolutely.
You know? Yeah.
Absolutely.
And of course, Florida hasn't been forgotten by the National Democrats.
No, because now we're going to queer up politics.
Woo!
Biden and Democrats can't win in November? So why did Biden come to South Florida this weekend? Pundits have suggested the Democrats, and specifically Biden-Harris, can't win Florida. During this week's events, very near the Happening Out television studios, President Joe Biden addressed an audience of affluent donors and VIPs, asserting that winning in Florida is possible but requires organization, mobilization, and voting. Similar sentiments were echoed from other Democrats, including Nikki Fried, the state Democratic Party chair, and Fentrice Driscoll, the minority party leader in the state House of Representatives. They optimistically suggested that with hard work, ample fundraising, and effective communication, victory for Democrats in Florida is attainable. However, skepticism abounds among Democrats, Republicans, and nonpartisan analysts regarding the feasibility of significant Democratic success in Florida come November. Former U.S. Rep. Carlos Curbelo dismissed the notion as something out of Alice in Wonderland, emphasizing the challenging political landscape. Despite the Democrats' push for optimism, Sean Phillippe, a Democratic strategist, highlighted the current voter registration numbers as not conducive to Democratic success statewide. With Florida leaning solidly red in public opinion polls, the likelihood of a competitive state in November appears slim. While acknowledging the challenges, Sean Foreman, a political scientist, has cautioned against completely writing off Florida. Biden's recent visit marked his 6th visit to Florida since taking office, reflecting the state's political significance. Floridians were the 4th largest source of donations to Biden's 2020 campaign. Despite criticism from the Republican National Committee and Chair Ronna McDaniel for focusing on fundraising, the Biden administration remains committed to engaging with Florida voters, recognizing the state's influence and financial support in political campaigns. Recent developments, such as the defeat of DeSantis in Iowa, his exit from the presidential race, and the federal court ruling against Trump, are signs that Americans are still in favor of democracy and freedom. The final piece of the Florida election puzzle will be what happens in Florida's huge LGBTQ+ community. As of today, Queer News Tonight has seen little action from the LGBT community for the November elections. So forgive me for repeating myself, but did I happen to say that I'm from Blue, Illinois?
And the outfit, by the way, is very on brand.
Very blue. And I've been living in Florida for 10 years, and I have to say, I'm not going to make any friends, that the Democratic Party in Florida is an embarrassment. And if you doubt that, just remember that the Democratic candidate that they put up against Governor DeSantis a couple of years ago was former Republican and suave man about town, Charlie Crist. I mean, come on. That was the best they could do. That was pathetic.
I agree with you completely, and I wish the state Democratic Party did a much better job than they actually do here. They have just abandoned the state legislature, and they just don't put candidates up to make any of this stuff work. And that's where we are in the situation that we are right now. And it goes to the point on the last segment that you made. This is truly about voting. This is about engagement that people have to do. And people do have to get involved. Honestly, this week, because the race now seems clear as who it's going to be, I signed up for the first time this year for a monthly donation to the Biden campaign. I did it through the end of the year. And whether it's $5 or $500 a month, in order to be able to put it there, you have to put that there.
Yeah.
I literally ordered my Biden-Harris bumper sticker, and it's going to go on the back of my car. I mean, I'm tired of driving around and only seeing Trump stickers. We have to get out there, and we have got to put stuff out there to make a difference. I don't know if we can win Florida, but I do think it's important for us to at least to try to stop what's going on and to show that we have a voice here.
Exactly. And that's where the power comes in, because right now, instead of it being a tidal wave of red like we saw with the governor's race and the state senate race, we need to now just make a move and galvanize on the ground. It's going to take just regular people instead of relying on the Democratic Party here in Florida. And
love you, but you're not enough, but love you.
It's not enough. It's not enough. It's going to take grassroots 501c3 organizations from all across, immigrants, Black, Latino, LGBTQ. It's going to take religious, faith-based organizations to rally up and just make noise right now. Now is just the time to make noise. Even if Florida isn't one, it's time to just make some noise and get.
Well, and Greg, you said you were here for 10 years. You've been here for 10 years now, right? So I'm not sure how long everyone else at the table has been here, but you're from here. So I remember, I'm from New York, and I remember when Florida was a swing state, and it was blue just as much as it was red, and I don't know if that has been in the last 10 years or not, but I do think that there is a chance that eventually with the correct work, we could have a blue wave again, God willing, here, because it's been done before and it can be done again. That's how.
Do you think it goes back to the hanging chads and that bush freak?
Well, I think
it goes back to that.
I do.
I think that's when we really started to define red and blue states.
Right.
Because the election kept going on for so long, we kept seeing that same map. In that particular year, Republicans had happened to be in red and Democrats in blue. And the election went on for a month, and it's one of those things that just stuck in the cultural lexicon. That's when we started really paying attention. Because remember, only 15 or 16 years before, Reagan had carried 49 states, including Rhode Island, including Delaware. So we rarely has the popular vote and the electoral college until 2000 have they not aligned.
Right.
Now, yes, did Reagan got 98% of the electoral votes and 55% of the real vote, but still there was a consensus. And I think 2000 really the hanging judge really sort of started to focus how we're going to define politics in the modern era. To answer your question, can the Democrats carry Florida? No, absolutely not. But I will tell you that the reason that Biden was here this weekend is the answer to all questions. Money. That's what it is. For the same reason Republicans that Trump and his crowd will schlep out to Silicon Valley and the Inland Empire and Orange County in California. They don't have a chance of carrying the state, but there's a lot of money there to get. Kind of like, remember Super Mario Brothers, where they just kind of ran around, they would jump up and they'd pick up 4 coins and then they'd move on to the next level? That's essentially what this is. They're just going around, jumping up to collect coins and get it. I don't think we need to focus, 2 points before we move on. We don't need to focus on getting new people registered. We've been doing that. What we need to do is start to try to sway people who are already engaged. People who are, but I don't like this, but I like this about what the Republicans do. We need to get out there and convince people who are already going to go vote to vote our way, to see things from our perspective. And we need to maximize our purple areas. We need to focus on smaller, low-dollar elections. Where did Republicans really start to make their inroads in the 1980s and 90s? School boards. And we just surrendered it because we were doing relatively electorally well, meaning Democrats. But if we start to put our money there, flip a couple of school boards in throughout the state, flip 2 or 3 states, Florida legislature seats, and build from there. Because we're not going to rebuild an entire political structure in this election cycle. This is not going to be Joe Biden's year in Florida. And remember, every dollar that's spent here has to be taken from somewhere else.
Right.
And are we going to sacrifice the suburbs of Detroit again, like Hillary Clinton did? Because we know that they're with us. That didn't work out very well. Are we going to sacrifice outside of Pittsburgh? Are we going to sacrifice, Tempe, Arizona, and outside of Phoenix? It just makes more sense to get to 270 rather than try and have a flashy, splashy win in Florida.
Yeah, I don't think that there's any way Florida is going to go. Anyway, I agree.
All right.
Well, next, let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Our Fund Philanthropy Awards recognizes the best of South Florida community. Our Fund Foundation and Bank of America Private Bank celebrated the 5th annual South Florida LGBTQ Philanthropy Awards at Broward Center for the Performing Arts over the weekend. The event recognized the exceptional contributions made by the LGBTQ plus community in philanthropy, volunteerism, and emerging leadership. Honorees and guests enjoyed a cocktail reception prior to the ceremony, followed by a thought-provoking discussion with this year's guest speaker, Hannah Canstrom, Senior Vice President and Philanthropic Strategist at Bank of America Private Bank. The evening culminated in the acknowledgement of the 2024 class of South Florida LGBTQ Philanthropy Awardees. This year's awardees included Michael Kalb for the Philanthropist of the Year Award, Nikki Lopez for the Commitment to a Cause Award, Floatorama for the Next Generation of Philanthropy Award, and Larry Heyer for the Dick Schwartz Award for Lifetime Achievement. Heyer was the principal architect for and funding for Sunshine Cathedral's new youth housing project, Sunshine House. Our fund is one of the largest legacy-giving nonprofits in America. It promotes philanthropy, manages enduring investments, and conducts impactful grant-making to improve the lives of LGBTQ plus people in South Florida. You can forever support the LGBTQ plus community with a legacy estate gift. More details can be seen at ourfund.org. This is a beautiful story to show, like I said before previously, that we are not powerless. We have power. And also, we are one of the most generous folks that I do know that move the needle when it comes down to volunteering, philanthropic work. Oh, there I go saying that word again.
Should I ring the bell?
It was on your own accord.
Every time Jamaal says philanthropy, an angel gets his wings.
I'm going to be at the bagel place. I'd like a philanthropy. Bagel, please, thank you. Yeah.
But it warms my heart that, you know, we move the needle when it comes down to social activism and things of that nature.
Yeah. These are all well-deserving recipients, and once again, our Fund Foundation is proving itself to be indispensable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, they do an amazing job. And what I like about them, too, is the fact that, you know, there are many other community foundations out there, but it truly is one of the best LGBTQ plus foundations, community fit foundation, and their job is really very simple. You can make a testamentary gift, a planned gift, and it goes there. The money will be there. They manage the money while it's there, but then they pool all the assets together, and then they make amazing grants and support all of these LGBTQ organizations. So whether it's Stonewall or whether it's Pride or whomever it is, they have very professional standards in place, and they do a great job. And they're out there raising money all the time. I mean, here we are back about talking about money, and that's what it's about. But they're trying to help us as we make end-of-life plans to figure out who is the steward going to be after we're gone to be able to make some of these decisions. And that degree of professionalism within the LGBTQ community is really important.
Yeah.
I played the steward in Into the Woods once in the community. So I got that metaphor right there. I was like, it's me. I'm the steward.
You are.
It's me.
You are.
All right, next.
No. Actually,
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. No, I would like to make just a couple shout outs real quick. I think David Jobin, who runs our Fund Foundation, does such an amazing job. He is, sure, their job is to collect and manage money, but he's not in it for the money. He's in it because he loves the community. Everybody who is associated with our fund, it loves our community in one way or another. And money is just a great way to express that and support that. Yeah. And the money they give is well managed. It gives grants to a wide spectrum of nonprofits in South Florida. And they do such a great job. A special shout out beyond the one that we already gave in the story. Michael Kalb helped bring Sunshine House together, and it's a joint effort with Sunshine Cathedral and SunServe and Flight Center. But this was his vision for over a decade. And he worked and cajoled and fundraised and cajoled and made people pay attention for our queer youth. And that is so important. And the Floatorama Award, Scott and his group there have took what was a pandemic Band-Aid to get us through Pride and turned it into an annual boat parade that kicks off Pride Week. All these organizations do so much. Florida has like doubled their giving like year over year, and so they are really up and coming, and they just care, and you can't put a price on that. So let us say, in a very thankless job, thank you so much from all of us.
Next, let's queer up entertainment. 2024 Grammys, queer women, history, period, drop the mic. My new entertainment television show, The W Boys, is coming March 15th, and we would love moments like last night. History was made as the 66th annual Grammy Awards celebrated and recognized the achievements of so many LGBTQ+ artists in a star-studded ceremony led by comedian Trevor Noah. The event boasted appearances by notable queer icons such as SZA, Olivia Rodrigo, Taylor Swift, and Beyonce, making it a memorable night filled with remarkable moments and LGBTQ+ winners. Queer artist Miley Cyrus claimed her first 2 Grammy Awards, which is kind of crazy, it's her first 2, securing victories in the Best Pop Solo Performance and Record of the Year for her hit single, Flowers. LGBTQ+ America celebrated during her acceptance speech when she thanked her main gays. Victoria Monet, who came out as bisexual recently, achieved 3 Grammys, including Best New Artist. Queer trailblazer Billie Eilish emerged as another major winner, clinching Song of the Year and Best Song Written for Visual Media for Barbie's What Was I Made For? During the pre-show ceremony, queer music band Boy Genius, featuring Phoebe Bridgers, Julian Baker, and Lucy Dacus, secured 3 awards, including Best Rock Song. LGBTQ+ icon and my personal queen, Kylie Minogue, earned her first Grammy Award for Best Pop Dance Recording with Padam. After her win, Minogue expressed gratitude to her queer fan base, which is huge, for their enduring support, calling it the start of the next era, honey. The event featured spectacular performances from Cyrus, SZA, Eilish, Annie Lennox, who also honored the late queer icon Sinead O'Connor with Nothing Compares to You. Another amazing moment was legendary LGBTQ+ activist Tracy Chapman performing her hit track, Fast Car, alongside Luke Combs. One of the memorable moments of the awards ceremony was also LGBTQ+ icon Joni Mitchell's first actual singing appearance on the award show with Both Sides Now. This year's Grammy Awards have set a new benchmark by celebrating LGBTQ+ artists, women, and their contributions.
Everyone in this world is spectacular, so please don't think that this is important, even though it's very important, right guys? We're very excited to put this on the piano. I want to thank everyone that's standing on this stage right now, Tom, Tyler, Michael, and Greg, our teams, my team, Crush, Columbia, my mommy, my sister, my love, my main gays, because look how good I look. Anyone else? Your wife, your fiance, all the people that we love. Thank you all so much. I don't think I forgot anyone, but I might have forgotten underwear. Bye.
Well, Miley, I've also forgotten my underwear. What did we take from the Grammys? Did anyone have any special moments? For me, Jay-Z kind of pointing out that Beyonce has won the most Grammys to the point of history. No one can compare, obviously, but she still has never taken home Record of the Year. Goes to show the madness that goes on behind the scenes of the voting. I was like halfway cringe and halfway, oh, I want my man to ride for me like that, you know, because he wasn't really lying, to be fair.
He wasn't lying at all.
He wasn't lying at all.
He wasn't lying
you know?
We've all been waiting for the moment for that she wins Album of the Year.
It just is not, the math is not math.
The math has never mathed.
Mathing
but my girl Victoria Monet. My girl Victoria Monet. I have been writing with this woman for years. I think a lot of people who know of Victoria Monet and knowing that she's bisexual and proud of being a part of the community was my shining moment, because that's my up and coming boo. That's my heart. Yeah,
I agree. And for those people who, you know, there are people who don't love to listen to me, and I'm a professional DJ, but who don't love to listen to music like after a certain year, right? They're like, oh, music went downhill after 2005. The Grammys last night were a testament to show that it has not. all the emerging new artists did their thing last night, and I don't see any of them as one and done. You know, they all look like they are putting roots in a really, really long recording career.
Well, between the icons, including Joni Mitchell, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Kylie Minogue, and Annie Lennox, and then the addition of queer artists such as Miley Cyrus, Victoria Monet, Billie Eilish, Boy Genius, last night's Grammy Awards was more like the Tony Awards than ever before. So gay.
Chef's kiss.
So gay.
Yeah,
Tracy
it really
Chapman.
was. And I mean, for me, the highlight was Joni Mitchell.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea of being able to see her perform at this point now, and to see her voice is so amazing, her presence is so amazing. I mean, in my life, she has been somebody who I've listened to for 40 years, you know, and so in some way, I mean, she's older than I am, but in some ways she's a contemporary. I mean, she's somebody who went out there, and it's just astonishing.
And even Celine Dion coming out with her stiff, what is it called? Stiff person syndrome? Is that the
colloquial term? This colloquial term,
You know, I'm not following any of that BS about Taylor ignoring her, this and that for the award, you know, but I was just like, oh my God, put some goddamn respect on Miss Dion right now.
It's royalty.
You know, like,
I'm sorry, I am going to address that Taylor Swift
completely
went past
I think she did.
Celine Dion. And I'm sorry, it's Celine Dion. Just like if Joni Mitchell was sitting up there, because Joni Mitchell, it was her first time
Ever.
on stage.
Yeah.
Celine Dion came out of her house to be on that stage to present that award. I'm sorry.
And kind of came out of hiding, right? Like, because we
Kylie,
haven't heard from her
we don't look
since
at, we don't,
her Vegas residency shut down.
I know, but I still can't get her out of my head.
get who?
Kylie Minogue? Hat on, John Hayden.
No, you know, but the thing is, and you, I think we need to give Taylor a little bit of slack.
No.
But she just.
No, ma'am.
This is
No, ma'am. This is her fourth
achievement.
album. This is her fourth time winning the award. So therefore, you know what you expect when you step on that stage, nerves or not. She is Taylor Swift. Just like Beyonce, when Diana Ross came on her stage at her, she was like, are you serious?
Very true.
This is the queen. This is who paved the way for me.
Right.
Celine Dion is the one who paved the way for you, Taylor Swift,
Even
mama.
when Miley reacted to
Mariah
Carey,
Carey,
you know,
the
she was like,
MC.
I'm going to stand with this MC because these two MCs are iconic. That was beautiful, you know. So I don't know if I'm not a Swiftie at all, just to put that out there. To me, she sounds like unseasoned vegetables on barbecue. But it's I think she was wrapped up in the moment. Maybe I don't know.
Girl, bad.
You know, the thing is though, and we getting back to the Jay-Z throwing. Some shade. No, shade. Facts and shade. You can throw shady facts. You can throw shady facts. But that sort of keeps a through line going, doesn't it? Because remember, why did Kanye storm the stage at the
same damn reason?
And that was 2007?
The same reason.
The same
And
reason.
so this has been going on for a while. Two amazing artists, two voices of a generation. And it is so weird to think that Beyonce has not won this. But
Beyonce is not in Taylor Swift's lane.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not even.
Beyonce
but you have
42 years old and has been stepping in high heels since she was 15.
Yeah, she has. But if you're want to win the album of the year, everybody's got to get into their lane and be their best lane.
She is the best lane.
I know.
We know she's
That's
the
what
best
I'm
lane,
saying.
you know?
But it's so weird that Beyonce's never taken it.
No.
But well, I mean, it's not weird. That's what Jay-Z was saying.
Right.
The math ain't mathing. It's not weird.
Yes.
We know that the Grammys is literally throwing shade at the woman because when you get to a certain level, and this is society in general, when we lift people up, we're like, we can't lift you up that high. We gotta knock you
Adele
down.
gave the award to her when she won it, you know, and
she was like, "Girl, I don't deserve this."
She said, "This is so nice," but Beyonce's it wasn't the Renaissance; it was right before it. Album,
It was
Lemonade
album changed my life.
Yeah.
You know, and it was those moments that it's like, come on, give the woman.
But they're not going to.
And people thought Kanye was crazy. He was just spitting facts.
Oh, okay.
We know Kanye wasn't crazy.
Okay, Kanye can
We
still be
know
right
that
and still be a
Upstate.
raging anti-Semitic, hate-filled.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
all
I'm
things
talking
can
about
be true.
this. I'm talking about
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All things can be true.
Oh yeah.
All things can be true
Absolutely.
at the same time. But let's not take away that the Grammys was LGBT. Like last year's Grammys was LGBTQ plus filled. It was very diverse last year, and this year they are on top of it because last year was the first time that trans oh god I missed
Kim Petras
already
Lil Nas
right? And Lil Nas with his Satan moment,
and so we are making advancements in progression when it comes down to mainstream and the music. I just wish that we wouldn't want so much validation. That's what I want.
The Super Bowl could take a page from the Grammys book.
Oh, they can take us.
All right. Globes, Emmys, Grammys are down. One main award show left. Oscars.
Oh, that'll be fun. I can't.
Tonys in June.
But I'm talking about
the Tonys. Greg, I love the Tonys.
Out there, they're just sort of out there in the middle of awards, nebulous, whatever.
You're a gay person saying
that? You'll be on the W Boys that week.
Yeah,
for the Tonys.
That's June.
Yeah. All right.
I'm so happy you mentioned the devil. Now we're at religion. LGBTQ plus Pope versus the Catholic Church grows as 90 leaders sign hate-filled letter calling for a civil war. A collection of 90 Catholic clergymen, scholars, and authors have issued a joint letter addressed to all cardinals and bishops of the Catholic Church, urging them to oppose a recent Vatican document approved by Pope Francis. The document, named Fiducia Supplicans, permits priests to bless same-sex unions, an unprecedented move that has ignited controversy within the conservative Catholic churches. In their letter, the Catholic conservatives argue that Fiducia Supplicans would allow the blessing of what they deemed objectively sinful relationships. They call upon cardinals and bishops to take immediate action, urging them to forbid the application of the document and to request the Pope to withdraw Fiducia Supplicans. They say this document contradicts both Scripture and the universal tradition of the Church. The letter is also accompanied by a public petition with over 20,000 signatories. Signatories of the letter include prominent figures from Catholic institutions from around the United States and worldwide. And they argue for opposing the document, which allows for the blessing of couples, including same-sex unions. This decision has divided opinions, earning praise from reformers and sparking fury from conservatives. However, the Pope apparently stands by his decision. He had raised concerns about America being fundamentally backward, drawing parallels to a critical moment in 1859 when the issue of slavery led to a division and the subsequent Civil War. So, gentlemen, I'm going to say about this document the same thing I said last time with regard to the Catholic Church. It's too little, too late about the document itself. In the sense the Catholic Church has a long-standing history of putting LGBTQ people to the back of the bus. And it all goes back to someone by the name of Peter Damian in the 11th century that actually made homosexuality and the act, he actually defined the word sodomy and making those acts a mortal sin. I think what we're seeing here, though, is that you're seeing we're seeing a real wrinkle fall again within the Catholic Church. Because first of all, you have these conservative bishops and cardinals who they are supposed to believe in the Pope's infallibility, that the Pope cannot make a mistake. And so therefore the Pope has come out, political or ecclesiastic, or because of doctrine, but he's come out and said that even though you can't marry in the Catholic Church, you can actually bless unions in the Catholic Church. He said something which is good. Again, I still think that's too little, too late, but that's what he's done. But now they're hardliners who, on the one hand, say this individual cannot fail, cannot make a mistake. He is infallible. That is a core tenet of what the Church is about. But yet they want to go on to say he made a mistake and that this has to be taken away. This represents a real split within the Roman Catholic Church, which we have seen has led to Protestantism. It's led to
Methodist, right?
Methodist. It's led to the Church of England. It's led to a million other things. Will that happen today? I mean, who knows?
Hopefully.
I just want to know how many of these two-faced queens, clergy, also happen to be homosexuals themselves in their elegant gowns. I'm just curious because we all know, please, I have an ex who is a Catholic priest.
Yeah.
So we all know how that works.
Yeah.
Stop fooling yourselves.
And don't forget their hats.
So pretty.
like they say, the pen is mightier than the sword.
Oh, miter. Yeah, I gotcha.
I'm sorry, Jamaal. Go ahead.
I just really, I extend my heart to Catholic people who are homosexual. And this is validation for them. This means a lot to them. People who believe in this, who follow these traditions, I pray that, some good comes out of, this, I guess, this dissemination, this crumbling of sorts that's happening for their sake. Because as for me and my house, we don't give a fuck.
We have zero left to give.
Zero. I haven't, well, I didn't grow up Catholic, but I grew up in the church and I grew up Jehovah's Witness as well.
Oh, dear.
And and, growing up that way, there's a veil, there's like a heaviness that you carry from being conditioned to believe that you are evil, you are bad, you carry a lot of shame, you carry a lot of guilt. So me extending my heart is like, you are okay, you don't have to accept blessings and unions from people who do not want you or who do not want you to be a part of their organization or whatever they have going on. Because one of the things that my spiritual mentor always says is that you will come in contact with people who will love you far beyond the people of your past. So I just really pray for those people. Because I know a lot of other people are okay, but I really extend my heart to them.
I grew up Catholic, and I still am Catholic, and I'm very gay, and I'm very happy. And my parents never made me feel any other way. My grandmother was very, very religious, church every Sunday, but it was never an unwelcomed environment. So if there was ever a theme or something going on in the church that maybe I didn't understand or I felt displaced, from a certain community, my family always protected me. So I thank them that I was brought up with a really great group around me, and my heart, like you said, goes out to those who didn't have that. I think I'm 35 now, and I've recently found my love for religion again, and that's kind of making my own rules, with it. But I think that this is a win for the Catholic Church. I also think it's a little too late. So for me, it's touch and go a little bit, Sorry, you gave me that look. I was like, let me just go. I almost,
give you a look?
No, the good look, like that say something look. And I was like, I'm deciding whether or not I should share this.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me share this.
And I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
I think we all do. This is just exposing the hypocrisy of the Catholic Church, specifically larger religion and organized religion in general. I think that this schism, let's just use that word, is going to probably play out around the world, and certainly here in America, much like politics are playing out. Inner city churches, inner city parishes tend to be more open to LGBTQ plus congregants, while they're the farmer mice, the country mouse tends to be a little bit more virulently against us. And I think that's going to break out in parishes, in churches. And while this debate, continues to divide society, expect it will accelerate, or at least help maintain the speed of which organized religion just continues to crumble, into like collapse on itself like a dying star.
Yeah.
Tonight's broadcast is presented in part by Visit Lauderdale. Everyone under the sun. Now, here's a look at what I'm working on for this week's edition of Out South Florida. This week in Out South Florida, powered by Queer News Tonight. I'm Out South Florida senior reporter John Hayden. In this week's issue, Pride on the Drive is this weekend. Is it something, nothing, or both? Also, Florida Republicans are targeting LGBTQ plus adult entertainment by changing the meaning of the word adult. And an LGBTQ plus friendly church is facing tough times in Palm Beach County. I'm John Hayden. Those stories and more in Out South Florida, on stands and online, and follow me on Instagram at John Hayden Journalist for breaking news and live updates.
Next, we are proud of our special partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. Supporting that partnership, we are broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine Cathedral at the Happening Out television studios.
We finish tonight's show with a segment we call LGBTQ plus 1 Minute News.
LGBTQ plus 1 Minute News. Let's queer up education. BC Pride permanently canceled at Broward College over Florida politics. Broward College's Pride Week is a celebration of LGBTQ plus identities, fostering awareness and understanding within the BC community. Pride Week features diverse programming, student services, and advocacy for social justice. Connecting students, faculty, and staff, it builds a stronger community. Unfortunately, due to the current political climate in Florida, the BC Pride event of 2024 has been canceled. Announced on Broward College's official Facebook page, it is unclear if this is a permanent cancellation. According to the new rule implemented by the state's Board of Education, Florida state colleges are banned from using state or federal money to fund diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, including Prides. Broward College's official website that formerly had dozens of embracements of the LGBTQ plus community at the college now has a notice that all content has been removed.
LGBTQ plus 1 Minute News. Let's queer up Black culture. Unveiling identity. What does it look like being Black and gay in 2024? Black History Month is here, and that includes Queer Black History Month. Join Terry Dyer, author and activist, and Reverend Skip Jennings, a transformational coach, as they host a compelling community town hall titled Unveiling Identity: What Does It Look Like Being Black and Gay in 2024? The panel discussions is this Wednesday, February 7th at Island City Stage. This event is a vibrant and thought-provoking forum that encourages open dialogue and understanding. Accomplished panelists include Nick Harris of the Human Rights Campaign, Queer News Tonight anchor and executive director at Pride Lines, Dr. Edward Summers, and Natalie Tyler from the Center for Spiritual Living will give unique perspectives on the state of Black and queer issues in America. It is open to all. Further information and free reservations are available at eventbrite.com.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up the USA. Here is how much conservatives hate LGBTQ plus. No, wait. The news is historically good. Just when we thought radical conservatives and evangelicals hated the LGBTQ plus community, we find this week, not so fast. If you believed all the rhetoric from Florida and Texas governors, you'd think the entire world wants to push us back into the closet and don't say gay. Well, this news comes from the General Social Survey, and it seems Americans' views on same-sex relationships have undergone a remarkable shift. The disapproval rate has dramatically plummeted, reflecting a significant cultural triumph. A post on X says it's a huge cultural win and showed this graph illustrating the disapproval rate's decline. For 50 years, the survey has meticulously studied American society, offering insights into social characteristics and attitudes. While still high, disapproval levels are below 50% for the first time in history. This news is cause for celebration among the community and frustration for bigots.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up gay culture. David Archuleta comes to Wilton, and watch him respond to being a full-time bottom. Social media users recently delved into David Archuleta's personal life, prompting him to address the comments and dispel rumors. Archuleta, the American Idol star, was raised a conservative Mormon. He came out as gay to his family in 2014 and later identified as somewhere on the bisexual spectrum in 2021. Archuleta is performing in Wilton Manor's Rock the Block on February 17th, so he got our attention when he responded to a TikTok video where a woman was basically mocking a man for his size. In a stitched video, Archuleta playfully suggested he might have a crush on men with a particular measurement. However, when a comment assumed he was a, quote, full-time bottom, he claimed that the assumption was false. Any discussion from Archuleta shows how much more comfortable he is getting to his authentic self. America just saw him open the 2024 Rose Parade national broadcast that included Visited Lauderdale's LGBTQ plus Embraced Float. Don't miss this free live concert as Wilton Drive is closed for this Rock the Block festival on February 17th, starting at 6 p.m. You just might get a chance to ask him a few naughty questions yourself. Our favorite Queer News Tonight anchor, Faye Watt, will be hosting the Rock the Block event.
Was this not a short person trend? I'm like thinking back on the video now and realizing oh my I'm 5'5" and but it's not about that, is it? And I'm like realizing that, oh my gosh, wow. And
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up the USA view. DC area police announce arrest for stolen pride flags crime spree. In breaking news from Arlington, Virginia, police have arrested 2 men for allegedly stealing LGBTQ plus pride flags from a lesbian couple's home. Matthew Henshaw, 20, of Fort Myer, a U.S. Army base, faces charges for 3 incidences on September 16th, September 30th, and January 27th. He is currently released on bond. Another man, named Joseph DiGregorio, 23, of Bayshore, is charged with a January 21st theft. He has been released on a summons. This ongoing criminal investigation prompts anyone with information to contact the Arlington County Police Department. Police spokesperson Ashley Savage did not disclose whether Henshaw is a member of the U.S. military. Over the last 6 months, there have been a large number of pride flags stolen from many private properties. That is today's news for the LGBTQ+ community on the world's first and only daily LGBTQ+ evening news show.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Are you, like most of America, part of our very large television audience watching this live LGBTQ+ news broadcast right now on Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and Amazon Fire TV?
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ+ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ+ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm John Hayden, and on behalf of these LGBTQ+ reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Jamaal Starks, Gregory Shapiro, DJ Eric, and Dr. Ohanian. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. And to our LGBTQ+ world, we wish you a very good night.
Good night.